Hey guys, this is Paul from Southern Maryland Divers with another product review for you. Today we're going to be going over one of my favorite products in the shop, which is the Aqua Legend. This is the baseline Legend. So there's two versions above this. There's the Legend, which we have here today. There's a Legend LX, which is another step up from this one, and then the Legend Lux, which is the highest end model. And I plan on doing a video on each, so if you want to know the features, the differences between it, you can go to those videos. But for simplicity, we're going to stick with this one today. So we're basically going to do an unboxing right here in front of you of this Legend, this Aqua Legend. So there she is in all of her glory. I'll show you what's in the box here. Obviously you have the first stage and second stage. There's a manual back here. This is comes with the comfort mouthpiece. This is a standard mouthpiece in case you don't like that comfort mouthpiece. Some people don't like it. So for ease of use, we're going to stick this out of the way for now. And I'm going to come in here and make sure that we are focused in on the regulator. So this is the Aqua Legend. This is the best breathing regulator on the market right now, and for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to go over some of those. So we'll start with the first stage, and we're just going to go over some features, and I'm going to explain how everything works. So first stage, this is a DIN first stage. We also have yoke. You could also use this DIN with just a simple yoke adapter on a yoke tank. But we'll start with the features of the regulator. So a couple things. It's a sealed first stage, which means that it's not going to get any of the external water inside of the workings, unlike some of the baseline piston style regulators that actually the water gets into the workings. It's supposed to, but this one won't. The other cool thing, nice thing, a feature about this is the ports on it. So you have two low pressures on this side and a high pressure port, two low pressures on this side, another high pressure port. And they're all angled at a perfect angle, so that when this is mounted on a tank, that these are going to come out at just the right angle to wrap around without having any harsh bends in your hose routing, which is cool. It comes with a hose protector for the second stage hose. It also comes with this nice flex hose, which is pretty sweet. So you could actually tie a knot in this stuff and take it out, and it's not going to leave any kinks or anything. It's a real durable hose. This stuff lasts, we see this stuff lasts for a long time. So the other cool thing about the flex hose is that it makes routing into your mouth super comfortable. So it's not going to pull on you like a rubber hose would. So this flex hose is pretty nice. Again, the DIN first stage, standard with all of Aqualung's regulators from the core level on up is the ACD system. And what that means is that whenever this first stage is not, and as well as the yokes, are not on a tank, this first stage is completely sealed from outside. So a couple things about that is that you're not going to get any water back into it, so you're not going to let, when water gets back into these, a lot of times the lubricant inside and stuff will wash away. That won't happen with this guy. It's also safer for elevated percentages of oxygen, just because you have much less chance of contaminants getting in there where you would have the high pressure oxygen going through. And these guys are compatible right up out of the box up to 40% nitrox, so it's perfectly fine to use for nitrox. And the ACD, this is a copyrighted and patented product by Aqualung. It works extremely well. All the regulators that we get back in for service that have the ACD system on them, they almost look brand new inside. So it's a pretty amazing product when it comes down to it. The second stage here has some cool features on it. This is a Supreme model, so it comes with the lip shield that goes right up to your lips when you're cold water diving. This is removable, so you can take this off and use it with warm water if you wanted to. The comfort mouthpiece, this curves up to the roof of your mouth. Also have the wings down here for your teeth, so it's not as fatiguing on your jaw. Holds very comfortably in your mouth. These are actually designed by dentists, which is a cool little feature, cool little thing. And then you have the second stage here, and this is just the baseline, the base Legend. So the difference, the features of this guy are going to be a Venturi switch. So you have a off and on for Venturi. What Venturi is basically is the inside workings of this regulator. There's a opening, so the air comes up through here. There's an opening in the second stage valve in here. The opening is normally pointed towards the mouthpiece on here, so it goes right to your lungs. When it's open like that, there's a direct path of air from the valve to your mouth, and it opens. So when you inhale, the diaphragm pulls down, it opens the valve. When it opens, the air comes out and goes to your mouth and creates a back pressure behind it. So just like a plane wing does, the air coming over creates a back pressure behind it, which pulls this diaphragm down even more until you exhale, and then it pushes it back and stops. So on the surface, you've probably gotten in the water before, and if the regulator's down like this and hits the water pushes that diaphragm up, it opens the valve, the air comes straight back and creates the back pressure and keeps it free flowing. Well, the Venturi off position is going to basically cover that hole. Not that the air won't come in anymore, but there's no longer a direct path from the opening in the valve to your mouth. It kind of puts a little cover over top of it, and then the air just kind of swishes around in there before it comes out to your mouth. It won't breathe any different, but what it does do is it keeps it from pulling a back pressure on this and free flowing out of the water. So that's the only difference. You will want to put it into dive mode when you go into the water, because the direct path is going to keep it from having to go swoosh around. It's not going to keep you from diving or anything, but it definitely makes it a different breathing experience. So that's what a Venturi switch does. We'll go back to the first stage real quick. This is an overbalanced first stage. What overbalanced means is that as you go deeper, it's going to get easier to breathe. So you have three different types of regulators. You have a unbalanced regulator, and so as you get deeper, the effort of breathing is going to be a little bit more difficult. Not to the point where you can't manage it, but you definitely can tell. A balanced regulator, you won't feel the difference at all from the surface down to depth. And then you have an overbalanced regulator, which actually makes it easier to breathe. If you really want to get down to the specifics of how that works, I'll be happy to go over it with you, but it's kind of outside of this presentation. So overbalanced first stage and a balanced second stage. So this thing is a supreme performer at depth. It really breathes really nice at pretty much any depth, specifically in the recreational range and if tech range for that matter. This thing is just going to keep on breathing like a dream. So that's the Aqua Lung Legend, the base model, and we'll do another one on the LX and the Lux a little bit later. So until next time, guys, if you want to visit our website, or better yet, stop into the shop and we'll get you some hands-on time with this guy. I think you will really like it. It's a really well-built regulator. The Parts for Life program, which I didn't mention, so we'll mention the Parts for Life real quick. When you buy this new, as a new owner, you get Parts for Life from Aqua Lung, and that program in itself will pay for this regulator over 2 or 3 rebuilds. And so what I mean by that is that if you bought this brand new today, a year from today you'll bring it into us. We do an inspection on it. We check all the pressures. As long as everything is good to go, you get it back, and then 2 years from today you bring it back to us. We do a rebuild on it. So we tear all this apart, replace all the moving parts in there, O-rings and such. And normally, if you didn't have the Parts for Life program, Aqua Lung would charge you for the parts. We would charge you for the parts and the labor. Because you're going to be in the Parts for Life program, and you stick to that schedule that I just mentioned, then you get the parts for free. And with this regulator here, you're looking at about $100 worth of parts. So you're only paying the labor. So as you can see, over 2 or 3 rebuilds, which would be about 6 years, maybe even 4 rebuilds, you have easily paid for the regulator. And so that's a super great feature that comes with all the Aqua Lung products and is available in the shop. So we'd love for you to come in and put your hands on this guy. And most of our instructors dive these, so if you wanted to actually try one out, I'm sure we can get one in the pool with you and you can try it out. But we guarantee you have an experience that you'll never forget with it. It's a super breathing regulator, and we always stock them in the shop, so stop on by and check them out. Until next time, we'll see you then.